504 here, back with another Paranormal Reddit stories. Let's jump right into it. Our first story comes from Redwood X99. Can someone help? So I wanted to start by saying that I live in Hemet my whole life. I recently moved out and have been thinking about all the paranormal things I've experienced. This one has to be the top creepiest, and I wanted to share it with you guys to maybe see if you guys have seen this thing before or have heard of it. It was the summer of 2019, and I had just graduated. I spent a lot of time with my friends driving around at night. One night my friend was driving me home. We were having a good time listening to music and talking. My house was in the neighborhood that was literally a full rectangle. So in order to get to my house, you would just take a right, left, and boom, my house would be in the middle to the left. So my friend is driving, and she takes a right, and at the very end of the street was this tall, lanky, gray, hunched-over creature, but it's running. While it's running, it turns left down the street. At this point, A and I looked at each other and asked each other what the hell that was, but she continues to drive. She took the next left, and we see it again, but further now, taking another left towards my house. We both began to flip out, not knowing what it was, creeped out, but also curious. As we make the final left turn towards my house, it was no longer there. We took a couple laps around my block to see if we could find it again, but nothing and nobody was there. I've heard of skinwalkers looking like that, but it also looked like the werewolf from Harry Potter with the way it ran. Still creeps me out to this day. Does anyone know what it could have been or has seen something similar? Our next story comes from King Pineapple 322. My mom woke me up. Alright, so my mom died 3 years ago, and one thing that she always did since I was little was grab my foot and say, "Ya levantate mio," while I was sleeping to wake me up for school. I'm in my college dorm right now, and I suddenly woke up because I felt somebody grab my foot and heard her voice. This literally just happened. WTF, I'm shaking. I miss my mom. Edit, thank you for all the lovely messages and insane support. I'm shocked and happy to know that so many others have similar experiences, and all I got to say is that our loved ones are still with us. Our next story comes from the user Alessandro Corticelli. It's titled, "I'm literally shaking right now." I went to sleep a little early tonight. My eyes fell off pretty easily, and then I jumped into a weird dream where my bed with myself on it would start spinning in my room, with the edge of my bed being my only exit way, and if I missed the exit, I get locked between walls forever. In the first spin, nothing happened, like no record. Then it started spinning again, and I barely made it to the exit door, so I jumped off the bed to escape. I woke up that time, turned on my phone's light to witness my bed. My bed was turned 70 degrees around. What the actual happened? I'm scared to sleep now. I'll check my living room camera tomorrow to see if I can hear myself moving the bed or something. And we do have an update. He actually posted saying that his camera picked up a bunch of banging noises. Nothing that sounded like scraping or anything like that. So he's even more spooked now, is what it seems like. Definitely hope that things work out for him. Let's get into our next story by user blank. Something wants to come in. So I live in a house in a quiet neighborhood where the only people who go up to your house are the people you know or people working. That being said, no one goes to your house at night for any reason. The last 3 weeks I've had someone or something knocking at my door or windows in the middle of the night and having the doorknob on my front door jiggle like something is trying to turn it. We live across the street from my in-laws, who have cameras pointing to where you can see my house. We checked the cameras but never saw anyone around the house. When the knocking happens, it's been happening more often and starting to happen during the day too. I always look and see if I can see anyone without opening the door. Again, I never see anyone, but today I heard it at the back door, where the blinds were up. I could see no one was at the door, but I went to check anyway. I heard the door jiggle and stop, and the locks I always keep locked were unlocked, and I checked that door 30 minutes beforehand. Now I can't help but to think that whatever's knocking wants to come inside. I have seen a shadow figure around my house, but it hasn't done anything to anyone in my family, mostly just moves things. But I never see it near where the knocking happens. It stays in the room. Our next story comes from the user Silent and Pale Girl, titled, "Made a mistake by getting too close to an abandoned forest." I drive alone past this forest, but for some unholy reason, something without the voice of a human calls me in. I'm a scared person. I would never ever go into the woods just because this random suggestion popped in my head. And never have I heard an invitation like this. But the more I looked at this forest, didn't happen with any other forest I've been to, the more I felt calm and almost like hypnotized, like a calm lullaby wanted me to come closer. I felt like I would go there there would be an absolute freedom and calmness and something mysterious, and that everything in the world was not so important, but to go there and enjoy the numbing silent lullaby that played in my head when I looked at the forest. Something gave me that feeling like I belong here and I should forget everything else. My mistake was I thought I could just chill in front of the forest and nothing bad would happen, and I get to enjoy the hypnotizing calm feeling. I thought that I could outsmart this invitation. I was just too curious. But then something was not happy with my decision to stay out of the forest, and I kid you not, knocked me invisibly over. I was sitting in no way I would just flip over and fall 1 meter. I understood in this moment I need to nope out and never come back to this place. Something just knocked me to the ground. I couldn't fathom what happened to me even long time after. There was just no chance. I just fell by myself when I was absolutely stable, sitting and absolutely calm. I just flee the scene without a second thought. In the same moment, my senses kicked in. Who knows what would have happened if I got inside. Thank God nothing serious happened. Edit, sorry I forgot to mention in detail, I got out and just sit silently there on something that is in front of the forest and what was approximately 100 centimeters in height. I debated if I should get up and go in. I almost wanted to go in, but I just sat down and just stared and stared and stared at the forest till it knocked me from my outside seat. Well, go ahead and knock that like button over if you liked this video. Definitely come check us out. Should have another video coming out this weekend. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.